George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation. Once again, we go beyond the badge, and we have with us Syracuse police officer Marlena Jackson with the Community Relations section of the Syracuse Police Department. Now, Marlena, I gotta say, there's no event that I haven't seen her at. So she is a familiar face to many of us because she's just about at everything. Do I have that right? Is there anything you haven't that you don't go to or that you haven't been to?
You give me the credit, and I do the best that I can. I can't make it to everything, but I try to do the best that I can. So you guys give me a lot more credit, and I appreciate it because the compliment goes a long way. So I do my best, and the more that hopefully they see me out there, the more I can bridge that gap.
So let's talk about what your role is. So what is it that you want people to know about the work that you do, and what are you representing as a police officer?
I would say being assigned to the community relations section allows basically to establish and maintain a mutual beneficial relationship with the communities in which we serve. And that is my main goal. And our main, I would say, overall, we just want to build that, change the public attitudes, shape the policies in the organization in the public interest, and produce a program of action to earn community understanding and respect, especially at a time like this that is just very challenging for everybody, no matter what job that you do, whether it's law enforcement or working at a store. Everybody is struggling just to make it every day. So I think it's a challenge for everybody, no matter what career you do or what field you choose.
Here's one thing I'll say about you, and we've had some interactions over the past. You're always like, yes, sure, very accessible, and I think that is you're exactly the kind of person that is needed at a time like this. Say more about that role for you.
Well, thank you. I'm very humbled by that. I think I've at the end of the day, I still in uniform, and I work patrol, and I think it's a two-way benefit to build that trust within the community, and for the community to build trust within us as law enforcement officers. I've had the opportunity to work with so many amazing individuals and agencies in the community itself, in working with the men and women that are in uniform out there taking the calls every day, really have elevated me just to continue to bridge that gap. My position allows me to be out there and be into the schools and be in the churches and attend the community events. And I'm really just the voice for the officers here. They are out there, our men and women are out there every single day, doing amazing things each day in between taking calls. And sometimes those memorable moments are not captured on video, or it's not on camera. So it's really tough. I remember being on patrol and not having a call, not being dispatched, and just driving by, patrolling the area and seeing kids playing basketball, and literally got out the car and played basketball. But those things you just don't see, and our officers are out there doing it every single day, working hard. We leave our families at the end of the day in hopes that we're going to come home and say we see you later. We're not really sure if that's really, if we are going to go home. And we hope that we just, our job on patrol is to make sure that we keep ourselves safe, and that we allow our partners to go home safe to their families at the end of the night. So it's tough. The nature of our job that we sign up is to serve and protect, and the community in which we serve. It's not often that we get calls to go to celebrate positive situations of somebody just getting a promotion, or graduating college, or getting their high school diploma, or getting amazing grades on their test. We just don't get those calls, unfortunately. Sometimes we get calls where people want to celebrate certain things, but those calls are very rare. So I think it's really tough.
And that's not why you're there, right? I mean, you're not there to get that kind of call.
You know, if we were, I think it would be great. I think we would just have that smiles on our faces, and just go to work with positivity. But our men and women are out there working hard every single day. And when I go out to community events, I know they can't be there on the event sometimes because they're taking calls. So I try to be there to speak on behalf of them and be a voice for them, and the face for them. And I usually dodge the pictures and the videos, because it's not about me. It's about the community in which we serve and trying to capture those moments that we often don't get.
Yeah, I remember one. I'm just thinking you talk about pictures, but then I just remember that I actually got a picture with you.
I remember that one.
You do? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And this is when former chief, 2 chiefs ago, was doing coffee with the community and things of that nature, right?
yes.
Right. And so giving the opportunity for community to have direct interaction. And one thing you said was about I don't know if I'm going to come home, right? Or in our families, like we know we expect to, but then there's that uncertainty about the day. And when did you accept that? As soon as you were sworn in, or did you grow to accept that reality of
Mhm.
the job
I think as law enforcement officers, we know what we sign up. And if you ask any
from
law
jump,
enforcement,
right?
it's I want to protect and serve.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think when we leave home, we say we're going to see you later, but we don't really know that. But when we, at the end of the day, the uniform is just a uniform. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's part of what we have to do in order to, maintain our job and what we do. But it comes off at the end of the day. We hurt the same. We still have family situations going on. It we still have to go to the store. We have to still go to restaurants and eat, and we still have to go to get groceries. And I think sometimes some people forget, we just can't be superheroes every day. And the movies are great, but in real life, the uniform comes off, and we are human underneath it. And I think that's the toughest part of, the families are like, "How was your day today?" And it's like, "Good." You just have no idea of the day that we had, but the
And
fact that we walked through the doorway, and we made it home one more day is a blessing.
and you don't even want to really share that, right? And you're really like I think what you're saying is you're trying to compartmentalize all of the things that you saw in a particular day. And I know our partners and family want to be supportive and ask, like, how was your day? Well, this
Yeah,
and this and this and this. But maybe you don't want to share that to
yeah.
because you could be re-triggered or re-traumatized, and you don't want to traumatize them.
It's tough. It's really tough. We leave our homes and we leave our personal life, or we try to, and we're not perfect. We
Mm-hmm.
are human, and we try to leave it at the door before we walk in to get suited up. And then when we conclude, our shift concludes, then we leave, try to leave work at work, and take that drive home. And sometimes just driving home, no radio, silence, just gets us prepared to pull into the driveway. And then take that cape off that we've had on all day and put that, whether it's a wife or a husband or a father or a mother or whomever, that we try to, before we open that door to our home, try to leave that and then step forward into our homes and let them know that we're here. And maybe we didn't have the best day, but we worry enough for ourselves, and our family worries enough for us too as well.
Marlena, I ask every one of the officers about relationships with the Black community in particular,
Yeah.
and you even alluded to it earlier. You said tough, and it's maybe tough with other communities. So, what, in your view, is ways in which the perception of and not the not and well, it's not perception, it's reality of what Black folks think they experience with police. How do you change that perception? And what are the things that you think have worked to improve that perception?
I think it's tough. We're all different. We all have different personalities. Sometimes it can vary from the calls that we've been on. Sometimes we can go from 5 calls to start off to 23 calls. And um, I think really it's just what it is. I believe, and I can answer the question. That's a really tough question. And I think it really just depends on, what kind of relationships have individuals have had encountered before.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes maybe the relationship wasn't good. So the next time an officer responds, maybe it's just that feeling of anxiety, or just feeling uncomfortable about, am I going to have the same situation? Um, but like I said, that's a really tough question. I think just trying to attend the events that I can. Our officers are getting involved out there. We have programs. We're trying to reach out to different age groups. I'm going into the schools. I'm always, always, always up for any suggestions on how, like you said, the coffee with a cop. We are getting that up and
We,
running.
again.
COVID kind of put um, a little freeze on that.
Yeah. There was no place to have coffee.
So it's, I think, things like that, having coffee with a cop and actually seeing us sit down and have coffee and build those relationships and be able to sit down and talk to officers when we're not going to a call or we're not en route to another situation, just really taking the time to focus on questions and get to know us for who we are.
Yeah. And I guess vice versa, right? Same.
Absolutely.
And that's your job, right? That's your
Yeah.
job. That's what you're out there doing, right?
Yeah.
You're out here. Like I said, there's not. Even if I don't see you and talk to you, I see you. You're out here. You are definitely out here. Let's talk about Marlena Jackson, Officer Marlena Jackson. As how did you get here?
You know, it's crazy. I am old. I won't tell you my age. But I originally started out with a teaching degree, and I was getting ready to get into my master's program. And I always wanted to be a law enforcement officer. And being the only child, my parents were a little overprotective, but I could see why. So I wanted to be into the military, and my dad was like, absolutely not. I said, I want to go into law enforcement. He was like, no. So I kind of was just, let me go for teaching. And I graduated, got my teaching degree, and I got into a master's program. And before I got into it, I said, before I hit the age 30, which is either going to go into my master's program or start applying for different police jobs. I said, if I get in before I'm 30, I'm going for it. It was just the path for me to go. So I kind of like snuck down and took the NYPD exam in 2005, put that gear on, did that physical portion of the test, got that acceptance letter. And when I got the call, I realized just having 2 weeks to prepare to go down there, really just the cost of living for a studio apartment. I just kind of just been living off of ramen noodles. I just didn't have the money at that time. So I just started continuing to take tests, and I took the test here for Syracuse Police Department, and I got in right before I hit 30. And I said, you know what? I'm going for it. Things only come once in a lifetime, and you take that, you go and start new and take that challenge on, and I'm here.
Did you go to school here? High school?
I'm actually from Schenectady, Albany area.
Albany area, okay. Mm-hmm. And no, it's funny because I'm doing math in my head. Okay, so before 30.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so I'm 40. Yep. And
okay.
Yep. So some of these youngsters had me, when I went into the academy, they were just turning 21, and I was like, oh man, so the gray hair is coming, and and I'm just like, man. And those 11 years went by quick. So yeah, so I had the opportunity, and I worked 7 years on patrol in the Eastwood area over there, and had some amazing partners over there. And I said, hey, this position opened up. One of the officers was retiring, and I said, hey, let me try it. The least I could do is try. And I was blessed, and now I'm here.
So what's it like for a woman as a police officer?
We have our challenges. I think, I don't want to say necessarily just being a woman in general. I think, both males and females have a challenging role in this job when we sign up.
But
you're just pulling it out of there. I knew it was coming. Yeah. I think it's just, nothing's going to be easy. And you have to work for it.
Right.
And it's not going to be handed to you. And I think that's in every single job, no matter what career you do.
Right.
So I don't really think it's a female versus male thing. I think it's just a challenging. I mean, we're having females do sports these days that
Right.
were
But
thought of, and
right. But I mean, but the reality is, women in the workforce, in male dominated paramilitary workforce, it's a little different, and you have to navigate that. And clearly
yeah,
you're doing that and you've done it. And I also think that also within law enforcement, and then how the community sees you and their expectations of you, right? I mean, so
yeah.
do you feel like there's this idea that you have to like do extra to be accepted?
You know, we know what we signed up for. Um, Being in this position, you know, my job is to just bridge that gap, build that rapport. I mean, it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come overnight. I didn't just get this job and, and was like, hey, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're great. I had to build that trust, and that
Right.
trust, it's a two-way street.
Mhm.
So I had to say, hey, I'm going to be here for that event. And it was like, okay, I'm holding it to you. Are you going to show? And when I do, then it's building that trust a little bit at a time. So
Mhm.
I think, and honestly, in this position, I'm out there. I get the opportunity to work in the schools, to work with the different churches and different agencies, and build that rapport. But I'm really, in my opinion, speaking on behalf of the men and women that are out there that are taking the calls, that are the heartbeat of the department. Because certain moments, memorable moments, are not going to get captured.
Mm.
So yes, I'm here. Yes, I love what I do, and I do the best that I can do at it. I'm not perfect, but if I can be a voice for them who cannot be present, to let them know that we are out there every single day, doing the things, making different making differences in different kids' lives. I used to stop at convenience stores, and the kids needed chips, so they were outside, and it was like getting them sodas or chips and candy. You just don't see that, but our officers are out there every single day. I know they are. I get the compliments that come in, and if I have the opportunity, I forward that right up to my boss and let it get notified, or just send them a quick email and say, hey, listen, this came through today, whether it's a video or a photo, and say, some days you might question why you do what you do, but a little motivation and a little compliment goes a long ways. And sometimes it lasts. You're just struggling, and you get that compliment. You said, you know what? I know why I'm here, and thank you, because we don't hear that much. Or a compliment, we kind of really don't know what to do with it. So when we get it, we're humbled, and we're very blessed.
What do you need from the community?
It's
Well,
challenging
you hear
times.
a lot about what we need from y'all. What do you
Yeah,
need?
I think I have a national night out event that's every year, that's going to be held the
When is that?
first. National Night Out is where it happens worldwide.
And what's the date?
It's always the first Tuesday in August. So this year it's going to be August 2nd. It's going to be at Kirk Park, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I literally just have law enforcement agencies from all over. FBI was there last year, Forest Rangers, police departments that are in this area. We have bounce houses, a DJ that's set up. I have other individual businesses that have laid out their platform, have products to sell that they have the opportunity. Food trucks. I don't want to give it all away, but it's just a day where all of us that come together as law enforcement officers and just be big kids and see us in a different light.
Well, why don't you want to give it all away?
If I give it all away now, nobody's going to show, because they're like, oh, I already know about that. So
Oh, so you mean
I
you
gotta
want to
pull you.
hold some stuff back so you can.
Yeah, I gotta pull you in there, and hopes I'll be advertising for that too as well, and working on that. But it really just allows us to dance with the kids. I'm gonna try to learn some TikTok videos. It's tough. I'm gonna get prepped before I get on there.
you
But
better get with some of them youngins. They can teach
yeah,
you.
I know they're gonna have to teach me some of them moves.
My daughter, she had me do one. It was Doja Cat, and I don't know what we did and how we did it, but it was fun. I mean, but you're right. It's like opportunities to deal with that. A lot of us are still dealing with the situation out of Buffalo, and you've heard a lot of commentary about how different, how Black folks are treated versus white suspect and all of that. How do you, as an officer, hearing that, and you obviously, you may have, what don't we understand or something like that about something like that happens?
At the end of the day, I think for me anyways, I know I am half Black and I am half white. So as I always say, I just try to have the best of both worlds and try to stay neutral. But when I see the community, for me, I don't see color, I don't see gender, I don't see any of that. I just see everybody is equal. And that's just my way of handling things. And the world is not, sometimes doesn't see it that way. And I can't have everybody speak for the way. It's easier for me to look at it that way because I can just stay neutral and be able to listen, and you have an ear, but I kind of keep, I'm in the background and I listen and I take notes, but I just try not to get involved in any of that because I don't see color, I don't see genders, I don't see any of that. I just see all of us in the community trying to work together to make a difference, to be a better place.
You think, so you talked about being biracial. Do you think that affects, that's an affectation of how you were raised and seeing the world?
I think my parents did a really, really good job. I definitely had it good. They're definitely my king and queen. And they just kind of just said, you're going to have your challenges in life. How you handle those challenges and how you allow it to affect you as a person is going to basically affect how you choose the path in life and which way you want to go. So I've just I've had the challenges of being a female too, as well as being a minority. And it's a challenge, but I try to see past it and try to stay positive, and continue to speak through others and listen quietly and take notes, and can't please everybody, but I can definitely try.
So now this is, what does Officer Marlena do for fun? Because we got this is beyond the badge. So we know what you do for work, but what do you like to do? Are the shows you like, hobbies? Let's talk about hobbies.
Okay. If I do have a day off, which is not often, but I had this past weekend off and went to the Syracuse Mets baseball game. And it was superhero day. Spider-Man was there.
And who's your favorite superhero?
They're all my favorite superheroes because they can take the cape off and switch, and they're all different personalities. And you know what? If they can wear the cape for the day, I'm more than welcome to have them.
So you like baseball. What else do you like to do?
Working out, hanging around amazing friends, positive individuals, nature walks, basketball. I don't want to say I'm the best at it.
So wait, you got game?
No. No.
Let's clear that up. You don't have game.
Listen, I am okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. No, I'll never say.
So Felicia Leggett ain't gonna be calling you no time soon.
No, just I'm gonna be calling her just to watch and learn and observe and support. Right. But yeah, really just being around family, positive people in my life. I have some amazing friends that have been there through some tough times, and really just enjoying one day at a time. Blessed to wake up each day and to actually see another day.
Favorite food to eat?
Spaghetti and pizza.
Spaghetti and pizza. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I rank spaghetti pretty high from my list as well.
Chicken fajitas, they're pretty good up there.
Oh yeah.
McDonald's kids meals.
You like McDonald's kids meals? All right, talk to me. All right, so what? Yeah. And do you ask for the prize too?
I sure do. I have a McDonald's that's in the city that I literally if I'm on calls or if we go to community events and we have to hop to the next one, or if I do have a lunch break and I'm actually out and about, I have a McDonald's that I go into, the city of Syracuse. I stop and they literally know my voice.
On the thing when you go through the
Yeah.
so they just say, okay, you're
Yeah, is
so
this
what's in
Officer
your little
Jackson? And I'm like, yeah, I just gotta have a kids meal cheeseburger with no onions, no pickles, extra fries, a Coke if it's a really tough challenging day. If not, it's a smoothie. And then I pull up and I pay. They were like, no Coke today, and I'm like, no, it's been a good day, a smoothie today. Well, what flavor? And I'm like, mango was good today, strawberry maybe. And then I pull up to the window and pay, and they're like, and I'm like, listen, don't judge me. There's no age limit on these kids meals. And yeah, I literally come into work with my whole red kids meal pal. Yes, and I'm like, listen, and they crack up. And it's just,
I love this.
you get
This
a burger, fries, a drink, and McDonald's allows you to up the size if you're having a really rough day, from the small to a medium or large for the same price. And I get a toy. I mean, where are you going to get that? It's like $4.31. I can use that on, I don't even know, something else, but yeah.
I love it. This is that was good. That's good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want us to know as a community about the role that you have as community relations for Syracuse Police?
First, I just want to say thank you for yourself, for basically wanting to give me this opportunity to do this video. I'm very blessed. And second, I just want to say thank you to the community that I serve. I've received so much love, appreciation, and sometimes I just get random text messages. Hey, we know you weren't here at this event, but you're probably at 5 others, or maybe you're just enjoying the time home. We love you and thank you. It works both ways. It just come the love that I get in the community. Sometimes I show up to scenes and I just get hugs. And we had police week, big rig day the other day too as well. And I saw
What's Big Rig Day? What's that?
Big Rig Day is where Parks and Recs basically puts it together, and they have big rigs, all the DPW trucks,
Oh, okay.
sweeper, the fire department,
Right.
SWAT division was there. I literally had the opportunity to see a family that I worked with on patrol who had some struggling times, who now are doing amazing and have beautiful kids. And I saw them sitting at the basically standing at the table interacting, and I heard my name from across the way, and it was a male coming towards me and just came up and hugged me, the longest hug, and said, man, I seen you from across the way and I came running, and basically I just want to say thank you. And he, I want to give all the details, has his own business right now, family's doing good. He's like, I got my driver's license. I'm working hard. I have my own business, and family's doing great. Kids are doing great. He said, man, I was on a rough path, but every time I see you, he was like, I seen you over there, and I just come running. And the family came over, and we took pictures, and we, that was from patrol. That was like from 11 years. I've been in this position for 4 years, and that was, probably about 5.5 years ago. He's like, man, I miss you out there. And it was just that hug. And
do you miss it out there? Well, you're out there, but do you miss that piece?
I never forget it. I never forget where I came from. I did a ride along the other day with one of my partners that we worked in the same territory. And when I got this position, he took it over. And he recently got transferred up to work as a detective. So I went on the ride along, and we reminisced. We went back to our old 461 territory over there, in the Eastwood area. And we just drove down James Street and just took the calls. I didn't even care what was coming. And we were just reminiscing. Remember over there? Remember we used to back in there and do our reports. And remember we used to stop at OIP and get pizza. And yeah, it was just, I wasn't sure if I was going to have the opportunity to work with him again, because he's going to be a detective on the overnights. So we had some fun times. I never forget where I came from. Never.
What's on your pizza, by the way?
I like mushrooms sometimes, but my best is cheese with ranch dressing. I have that whole thing of ranch.
Okay, you put the ranch on the pizza?
Nope, I have to dip it.
Okay.
And a
Well,
Coke or a Pepsi on the side.
okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm a pizza purist, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna let you have that because you have a stressful job and you get to have your pizza any way you want. Well, listen, Marlena Jackson, Syracuse Police, Community Relations, and I'm telling you, we see her. You've probably seen her somewhere out there because she's somewhere out there, and she's making it clear that it's not about her. She's representing the men and women who are assigned to protect and serve, and also to help to change the perception. That was her words. Change the perception of how the officers in the community interact with the rest of us. And so hopefully she can set an example for some of her comrades as well. In the meantime, Marlena Jackson, Syracuse Police, thank you for helping us to go beyond the badge on
Yes.
inspiration for the nation.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me and for everybody that's listening. You have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.